Hello everybody, this is another episode of Viva La Lather. I am Kyle, and on today's episode I'm going to be talking about some of the products I use as I go along. I won't spend too much time on any particular one thing, it's just going to be a brief overview. And I'll also talk a little bit about some current events, especially the war going on in Ukraine, share some of my thoughts about that, just a few quick thoughts I guess, and then we'll wrap up by talking a little bit about the rinse or the end of the shave. And I think my cat's at the door. Yes, kitty. What do you need? I don't know what my cat wants. Okay. Fine. Anyway, I'll share a little bit about rinsing your face at the end of the shave. So just as before, I've already prepared my lather here. I use a Shave Nation shaving bowl from shavenation.com, and my brush is a special edition Simpsons Trafalgar. It's the Isle of Man edition, the Isle of Man TT edition. Highly recommend both the regular Simpsons Trafalgar and the Isle of Man TT edition. I think this goes to the organization for the Marshals or something. In some way it benefits the Isle of Man TT. Some nonprofit. I don't know how exactly it works. I apologize, but definitely check it out. Look it up on YouTube if you don't know what Isle of Man TT is. It's awesome. Thank me later. Also down below in the comments, I'm going to be sharing some of my music that I am listening to currently while I shave my face. I think it's something I just enjoy, and I don't record a video every single time that I shave. A lot of times I'll do a shave and I'm not recording, and I just think about what can I share with you all as far as tips and tricks and things like that. Or and when I'm doing that, I just listen to music. Lately I've been listening to a lot of funk. I really like funk. It's got that perfect combination of kind of smooth, relaxing, but also kind of upbeat and peppy, energetic. So that's what I've been listening to recently, and I'll share down below in the description what some of those songs are that I've been really enjoying. So without further ado, here we go. Sounds good to get a pretty decent lather. And then one thing I like about the brush is you can really get in underneath all the hairs on the face, and then kind of smooth everything over. Really get the shaving cream through and through exactly where you need it. So in case I didn't mention last time, the reason I started shaving with a safety razor is because during COVID, well, let me back up. For a long time, what I did was I just used a beard trimmer just to get a modest amount of stubble on my face, and that was kind of the shortest it got. Then during COVID, when we all had to be wearing masks and things like that, started getting a lot of dry skin on my face, including here on the mustache and right where a lot of the masks would rest, of course, right there on the chin. Yeah, dry skin, rash, irritation, even with regular moisturizing and cleaning and things like that. But I found that being clean shaven, it was a lot easier to manage that irritation and dry skin. And so I experimented with a few things like, the usual disposable razors, which I had used in the past, and I tried some of the multi-blade razors, especially some of the newer ones like Harry's or Dollar Shave Club that are out there on the market today. I also tried the safety razor. I also tried the safety razor. This is the first razor that I started out with. It's the Vanderhagen. Pretty inexpensive on Amazon, probably made in China, I don't remember, but it's cheap, like $14, $15. If this was my first safety razor, if you have one of these and you haven't used another safety razor, I would say use a nicer one. This doesn't produce like a bad shave by any means, but it's kind of a harsh shave. I definitely, when I changed over to the Müller that I have right here, made in Germany, very nice. When I switched over to this, it really changed safety razor shaving for me, because it just produces such a smooth and gentle and forgiving shave. I was very impressed. I am very impressed with the Müller, and honestly, I can't remember if this is the R41 or the R89. It's the what's called the closed comb style. So whatever is the more mild version. There is a version that provides a little more blade exposure, and so it's a little more prone to nicks and cuts and things like that. But the closed comb version, again, I want to say it's the R89 that this is, but could be wrong. I'll figure out later and stick it in the video. So this is the shave cream that I'm using currently. The Pro Rosso, not the vitamin E. The vitamin E is the other one that I use, but this is the menthol and eucalyptus. I got it last summer just for the kind of refreshing, cooling effect that it might have. Because obviously it's warm during the summer, so I want some of that kind of refreshing coolness on the face. Wasn't really my favorite though. I probably won't be really using it again. It does have quite a medicinal scent to it. So you might have noticed I kind of puff my cheek out when I shave like that. That just provides a nice straight and kind of solid surface for the blade to glide along. Yeah, I know I look kind of like a chipmunk maybe, or whatever. Probably look funny making a lot of these shaving facial expressions. But do I care? No. So I found that, you know, rather than trying to really get every single hair, see right now, man, see, this is what I didn't like about the menthol. It was like, it's like the sensation of a cough drop. on your face. You know, it's like, it's a bit much. Stops being a refreshing and a little too kind of medicinal. So what I have found is that rather than trying to cut every single blade the first go around, even if it's all in one direction, like you're just shaving down throughout, even if you don't get every little thing the first time, I find it's not as easy to cut or nick yourself if you try to get most hairs the first time or the first pass, but then you can do a quick gentle second pass. The key thing to not nicking yourself or cutting yourself is really just take your time and not rush it. I mean, it's supposed to be a relaxing experience, so I don't really mind having to make multiple passes with the blade. Alright, see, this is a good opportunity to get that butt chin like I was talking to you about last episode. Spread those cheeks in. Get in there. Yeah, and again, once that, that shaving cream isn't there anymore, it's really not worth the risk. You can kind of do that with the multi-blade razors. You can kind of like get a little dry shave in there, and it's not really a big deal, I think, because a lot of them have those like lubricating strips. But can't do that with a safety razor because they don't have any of that stuff. I am sad about the war in Ukraine and sometimes quite upset about it. I mean, golly, the Ukrainians are resilient people. Holy cannolis. If you have Netflix, check out their, I don't know what, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a documentary about the kind of overthrow of the last president of Ukraine. What was that, 2014? Somewhere between 2011 2014. It was kind of during that whole uprising, that what would be called the Arab Spring, and Occupy Wall Street and everything. But man, I mean, those days were rough for the Ukrainians. And, luckily I don't have to be a diplomat So I can say that Vladimir Putin is the scum of the earth. Sorry, not sorry. I mean, by now he's got to realize he's lost the war. You can't win a war like that in that part of the world. At least not without outstanding loss to yourself, which obviously Putin is learning. But throughout history, it's a futile endeavor for any time frame that isn't very, very short. I should probably tell you a little bit about myself. I live in Hartford, Connecticut. Got milk? Some of you got it. Maybe some Gen Zers are like, what was that? I mean, Gen Zers can't really grow facial hair yet, so they're probably not even watching. But, you know, got milk, remember that? Alright. So yes, I live in Hartford, Connecticut. And I'm opening a restaurant soon called Petrolhead Cafe. It's a boutique sports bar and coffee shop that shows motorsports on TV instead of the more conventional sports like NFL football, baseball, hockey a little bit, as well as the NBA basketball. So I'm a big motorsports fan, especially when it comes to motorcycles. Love MotoGP. Love motorcycling. Love taking my bike to the track. And so I had this idea a few years ago. Well, more than a few, almost 10 years ago by now. And I started working on this almost 5 years ago. COVID happened, but now, you know, we're going to open in Hartford sometime this year, hopefully within the next 2 or 3 months. And, you know, I still have a full-time job, but who knows how soon I'll be able to do the cafe thing full-time, but looking forward to it regardless. Moved into Hartford, the city proper, or bought a house. Yeah. After living in an apartment in West Hartford for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years. No, not that long. 4 years. So that's where we are. Coming up on a year since we bought this place. So coming up on the rinse here. One thing I'll do, kind of in preparation for the end of the shave, is I will just wet my face with warm water. That will kind of help spread the kind of residual or leftover shaving cream that's there. You can always just add more if you want. So I'll do this at a I'll do the warm water kind of little rinse and spread around the rest of the shaving cream, and then I will just kind of inspect everything and just kind of trim up, shave wherever I need to, wherever there's like a stray hair here or there, what have you. Okay. Okay. So now I'm going to rinse with warm water to really truly rinse and get all of the shaving cream off of my face and rinsed off nicely. You don't want to use water that's too hot, just kind of I guess like between hot and just like, you know, comfortably warm. You want it just a little bit warmer than that. At least that's what I prefer. Now, this house that I live in is kind of weird because there's no bathroom on the first floor, but there's a bathroom here in the basement, which I discovered I really like for shaving. The sink down here is a little bit larger than it is upstairs by the bedrooms, but also the water is hottest because the water heater is just in the next room over, and the water is the coldest because it's coming from the ground. Close to the basement. So we've got the very coldest water in the house and the very hottest hot water in the house. Makes it very easy to kind of adjust the temperature to your liking. So what I'm going to do next is rinse with cool water. Again, if you're thinking between what you would consider cool and what you would consider cold, you're kind of in between there, maybe leaning a little bit more toward the cold end. But you don't want it cold. At least personally, I found that kind of creates some irritation for me on my skin. So I just do like a nice cool that just is like a little bit, almost like a little bit too cool. Just a little too cool, man. That darn cat. Yes. What do you need? You just want to come in here again? All right. Anywho. So rinsing with the cool water, that kind of closes up the pores, like tightens and tones the skin a little bit. What I do then is use an alum stick. It's like potassium alum, I think it's called. But that is a nice thing to have on hand. And I think for me, it does kind of close up some of the weepers and everything, but for me, the biggest benefit is its styptic property. So it is kind of a cleanser, a little bit of an antiseptic material to put on your skin. So I've found that it's resulted in a lot fewer like pimples and things like that. It is something you rinse off, but you leave it on there for a minute or so. I usually kind of clean up my materials, my brush, bowl, everything like that. And then when it's time to rinse, that's when you want another cool water rinse to get the alum off of your skin. All right, last thing I'll show you is my little Shave Nation towel. I like this towel a lot, actually. It's just the right size for your face. It's bigger than a washcloth, but smaller than a hand towel. And it does a pretty darn good job of resisting odors and things like that, and maintaining its drying capabilities for a few shaves. And it is very effective at drying. It's very soft and plush. It's definitely quality material, not some cheapo, hotel towel. So one thing I haven't mentioned yet is that I did try a variety of shaving creams, not just kind of the fancy like Pro Rosso or Taylor of Old Bond Street that I have, but I tried out a few gels and things like that. I also tried shave butter, which was really not my thing. Some people really like it for great, but it's just not really my thing. I found that it tended to clog the razor up frequently. I tried a Vanderhagen shave butter. I didn't really like the smell. It was really kind of funky. And I did try the Dollar Shave Club shave butter, and that was nice and everything. It worked, but it just wasn't really my thing. It was effective. I think it was, if you don't want something that foams up, or something to travel with, I guess, something that's a little more lightweight and won't, it's like you don't need as much to use on your skin. Great, but it's not something that I use regularly. Right now I'm using the Pro Rosso Vitamin E aftershave. About halfway through it. Been using it for, I don't know, probably 4 months or so. 2-3 times a week. So I use it as a moisturizer for the whole face, not just the shaven area. But use it in conjunction with the Vitamin E Pro Rosso shave cream. This is the other Pro Rosso that I have. So now that I've used this, I remember why it wasn't really my jam 100%. You might love it, great, but I much prefer the blue, purple, kind of violet looking containers or bottle tubes that the Vitamin E comes in. This has a really nice scent. It's kind of like a gingerbread cookie, cinnamony kind of gingerbread cookie scent to it. Very gentle and mild on the skin, but effective as a shaving cream. If you look at the packaging for both the Pro Rosso Vitamin E aftershave and shave cream, they are that same color of kind of purplish blue. When I started using this, I was a little disappointed that it doesn't actually have the same scent or fragrance, I should say, as this. The aftershave to me kind of smells a little bit more like a generic men's body wash, like the kind we might have in the US. Not quite as like spicy as Old Spice, but much more of that like sport kind of scent you might find in a lot of deodorants or men's products. So I was really hoping this would have like that really nice cinnamon gingerbread cookie fragrance to it, but I don't know if I just got a bad or a different bottle accidentally or what, but maybe I'll try it again in the future. But next time I think I might try a more budget friendly. This is like 16 bucks a bottle, and it has lasted a long time, but I think I'm going to try more of a budget friendly aftershave. I'll keep you updated on that one. So those are some of the products I use, some of my thoughts about the war in Ukraine, as well as a little bit about myself and what am I doing in my entrepreneurial work life. So thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.